With Big Mo. Oh, man.
Christopher, you ready?
Are you going to keep boxing?
Yeah.
You really love this shit, huh?
Jake Paul's complete meltdown started the moment Anthony Joshua shattered the illusion with one brutal reality check. As Logan Paul watched his brother get destroyed, the anger boiled over, and the fallout was uglier than the KO itself. This was a public breakdown, a family explosion, and a moment that exposed everything in front of the world.
Incredible.
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand. Gets clipped again.
The fight was sold as bold, dangerous, and history-making. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua was framed like a gamble that could rewrite boxing narratives. But once the bell rang, it stopped being a gamble and turned into a brutal reality check. Everyone underestimated just how badly this would spiral, not just for Jake, but for Logan too. Because what unfolded wasn't just a knockout, it was a public collapse of hype, ego, and family pride, all happening in front of millions of people who were ready to tear it apart.
I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, oh, he splashed his jaw. Yeah. He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast. Yeah.
The real story didn't start in the ring. It started weeks earlier with Logan Paul talking like the outcome was already decided. From ringside appearances to social media clips, Logan kept pushing the same message. Anthony Joshua was past it, overrated, beatable. He even claimed Joshua was losing rounds before the fight had even happened. The words legacy ender were thrown around like a threat, not a prediction. Logan wasn't just hyping Jake, he was tying his own reputation to Jake's performance. This wasn't brotherly support anymore. This was ego on the line.
Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal tiger.
The hype machine went into overdrive. Millions watched the build-up. Boxing analysts kept repeating the same point. There's a difference between influencer boxing and a professional heavyweight who has faced world champions. But that warning got drowned out by noise. Logan kept pushing. Jake kept believing, and the Paul brand kept growing louder right up until the moment it couldn't.
It really is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it. Jake Paul took it. Oh, the right hand punch. Oh.
When the fight actually started, the gap was obvious. Joshua didn't rush. He didn't panic. He waited. Jake looked tense, stiff, and uncomfortable. By the later rounds, it wasn't about confidence anymore. It was about survival. Joshua dropped Jake twice in the 5th round. Hard knockdowns, the kind that drained belief fast. Then he did it again in the 6th. 2 more knockdowns, 4 in total. At 1 minute and 31 seconds of round 6, it was over. Knockout. No debate. No controversy. Just silence where hype used to be.
Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big.
The numbers made it worse. Jake landed only 16 punches out of 56 attempts. That's not competitive at this level. That's outclassed. And the damage wasn't just symbolic. Jake suffered a double broken jaw and needed immediate surgery. This wasn't a close fight that went wrong. This was a mismatch that ended exactly how professionals said it would. And then the cameras caught Logan.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has it.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean,
just so
other
happy.
heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
As Jake was being carried out of the ring, Logan lost control. The confidence vanished instantly. The bravado collapsed. Commentators noticed it right away. This wasn't concern alone. This was anger, embarrassment, and panic. Logan lashed out emotionally, visibly furious, not at Joshua, but at Jake. In that moment, it looked less like a worried brother and more like someone realizing their entire public image had just taken a hit.
He's going to be terrifying. And he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
That's what made it so uncomfortable to watch. Logan had spent weeks talking. Now the world was laughing. His trash talk was replayed next to the knockout clips. His confidence was replayed next to Jake being carried away. Millions saw it all in real time. The Paul brothers weren't controlling the narrative anymore. They were trapped inside it.
Like, minus the actual victory, obviously, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness.
Backstage, the tension didn't cool down. Reports described Logan shouting, frustrated, shaking, struggling to contain his anger. This wasn't just about losing a fight. This was about being exposed. Anthony Joshua didn't just knock Jake out. He exposed the limits of the Paul experiment. He exposed the gap between hype and reality, and Logan knew it instantly.
Realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time.
The reaction online was ruthless. Fans mocked the pre-fight claims. Analysts broke down every failed exchange. Boxing commentators said the quiet part out loud. Influencer boxing stops when real heavyweights step in. Logan's meltdown became almost as viral as the knockout itself. Clips, memes, debates flooded social media. Some defended him as emotional. Others said it was desperation, watching a brand crack under pressure.
That this YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. He fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, not an elite boxer.
Days later, Logan tried to regain control. The tone changed completely. No more trash talk, no more threats. He called the knockout a logical conclusion. He admitted the skill gap. He praised Jake for lasting as long as he did. He acknowledged the injury. The words were calmer, more measured, but the damage was already done. People remembered the shouting, the taunts, the meltdown. What made this hit harder was the family angle. This wasn't just a loss. It was a public brother versus brother moment. Logan's anger revealed how much he needed Jake to win, not for boxing history, but for image. When Jake fell, Logan fell with him, and the world saw it clearly.
And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. There's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
This fight will be remembered for the knockout, but the fallout is what lingers. The hype collapsed, the illusion cracked, and for the first time in a long time, the Paul brothers weren't controlling the spotlight. They were exposed to it. The moment the fight ended, everything unraveled. Not slowly, not quietly, instantly. Jake was barely off the canvas when the camera cut to Logan, and you could see it on his face. This wasn't shock, this was panic mixed with pure rage. His eyes weren't saying, "Is my brother okay?" They were saying, "This was not supposed to happen like this." And as Jake was being helped out, jaw broken, head down, the last thing anyone expected was Logan completely losing it in front of the world.
I think the camp wasn't 100%. Is that accurate?
That's kind of what I was gonna ask. Like, do you feel like it was your best camp?
No, I mean, just because I was weighing 200 pounds when we confirmed the fight.
Logan didn't just look upset. He looked betrayed, like someone had just blown up his life plan without warning. 1 second, he's the loudest guy in the room. The next, he's pacing, clenching his fists, snapping at people around him. Cameras caught him mouthing off, shaking his head, clearly furious. The energy was wild. This wasn't a proud big brother moment. This was, "You embarrassed me on the biggest stage possible" energy. Millions were watching and Logan didn't care. He lashed out anyway.
And you wobbled him. I was right there. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, you wobbled him.
Yeah.
Go.
That's what made it uncomfortable and almost darkly funny at the same time. Jake is being carried out after getting knocked down 4 times and stopped at 131 of round 6, and Logan looks like he wants to scream, "You had one job!" Not at Joshua, not at boxing, at his own brother. Commentators noticed it instantly. One of them basically said, without saying it, "This isn't concern, this is damage control panic." Because Logan knew exactly what this knockout meant. This wasn't just a loss, this was reputation damage in HD.
To get that world-class gas tank, you need a Sam Calavita, you need a Nick Curson, you need these plyometrics experts that are got heart rate monitors on you, and they're checking when your recovery is ready and go.
Yeah.
And you're fucking yeah. You need guys monitoring your recovery, monitoring your heart rate variability, your VO2 max.
For weeks, Logan had been talking like Joshua was finished, like this fight was a setup for the Paul victory lap. He said legacy ender with his whole chest. Now Joshua had ended something, but it wasn't his own legacy. It was the illusion the Paul brothers had been selling, and Logan felt it immediately. You could see it in the way he couldn't sit still, the way he kept gesturing, the way he looked less like a brother and more like a manager whose investment just crashed.
You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
Backstage, things didn't calm down. If anything, they got worse. Reports described Logan shaking, shouting, clearly furious, replaying the moment over and over. That line, "You had one job, Jake," pretty much summed it up, and that's brutal because Jake didn't just lose. He landed only 16 punches out of 56. He got dropped 4 times. He left with a double broken jaw and surgery ahead of him, and on top of all that, he had to deal with his brother's anger boiling over in public.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.
Then came the emotional fallout. Pride took a hit. Ego took a bigger one. Both brothers were suddenly under a microscope. Jake was criticized for taking a fight he wasn't ready for. Logan was criticized for talking too much and then melting down when reality hit. Every reaction video, every podcast, every comment section turned into a therapy session they never asked for. The knockout cracked the illusion. The meltdown confirmed it. What people watched wasn't just a fighter getting stopped. They watched two brothers lose control of a narrative they thought they owned. And that's why this moment still lingers. It wasn't just loud. It wasn't just viral. It was raw, messy, and real in a way the Paul brand rarely allows. Anthony Joshua threw the punches, but the aftermath did the real damage. This fight will be remembered because it ripped the mask off the hype. Skill beat noise, experience crushed confidence, and reality showed up without mercy. Logan's meltdown became a warning sign of what happens when ego gets louder than preparation, and family pride turns into public pressure. The knockout wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. A clean line between influencer boxing and the real, unforgiving world of professional heavyweights. The arc was brutal and undeniable. Non-stop arrogance, a savage knockout, a ringside breakdown, and quiet damage control afterward. The Paul brothers built an empire on control, and now it's shaken. What happens next won't be quiet. It'll be explosive.